I've never really been a zombie fan. Truth be told, I'd never even seen a Romero film until I took this job on. But it was the tone of it that, you know, Charlie's sort of acerbic voice that attracted me to it.
There's no signal.
Give it to me.
Why?
Because I'm asking you, fetus.
It was clear that Charlie had his aspirations laid elsewhere. He wanted to make, and so did I, something that felt like an Orford piece, a movie. And to do that with the resources we had was challenging. So constantly having a great team, having a prosthetics team that kept coming up with good ideas, the cinematographers constantly throwing up ideas of how we could problem solve, and just pooling the talent that we chose to collaborate with. It was hugely ambitious, man. It's a 5-part zombie film for E4, done on an E4 budget, yet it did not want to feel like anonymous, sort of generic sci-fi TV. I mean, the look of the zombies, it was really down to Emma Scott. She brought so much to this. Obviously, we were exchanging reference images, and then the prosthetics fed into that, and they worked closely with that because, I mean, quite frankly, what the prosthetics team pulled off in our schedule, in our budget, is amazing. I'd never actually had aspirations of making a horror film. I never saw myself, but it's funny, once you get the prosthetics in your hand and people start squirting the blood, something happens to you, man, and you just start screaming, "More blood!" Actually, I looked a lot at photography, like I would do for everything I approached. I looked a lot at sort of Gregory Crewdson photographs, Bill Henson photographs. I was working closely with Tat, actually, he came on board early, the director of photography. We talk a lot about the textures and the lighting and how television can often be overlit and how essentially, you know, a horror, you want to play with a lot with the darkness, not seeing a lot in the frame and trying to be elliptical with your pictures. At first, you wanted to just think, what are we watching? This is like an episode of Big Brother, and it should look and feel like an episode of Big Brother. And we thought, okay, we could shoot it all on D20 and then treat it to look like Digibeta in post. But we thought it'd be bolder to just go ahead, commit to shooting it on Digibeta, so it really has that sort of video, television feel. And intercutting, interweaving bit by bit, and that what we call the narrative camera, the D20. And every time you saw Kelly, who was the lead, the main character, our protagonist, she'd be married to the narrative camera. And the narrative camera, the D20, would only come into the Big Brother house with her. And once she'd come into the Big Brother house, then the Digibeta fell to the wayside. That was the reasoning behind it. Well, the most important character is Kelly. You know, it's her story. She's the fil rouge. She's the one who takes us through the story. You know, she's the narrative thread. And then you've got Patrick, the character, the Andy Nyman character, the producer, who's bloody good fun. And Charlie clearly had fun writing him. It's Charlie's alter ego, and he's the one he found easiest to write lines for because basically all he does is abuse people. Walking into the editing suite, it's like, you know, it's like writing the final draft, right? And with Chris Wyatt, we've really been getting the material, and he'd offer up cuts ways I never actually saw it and the ways that Charlie never envisaged it, and just, you know, just giving it that extra layer. So I think collaboration is like the key. I mean, Charlie had the idea, and then everyone, you know, rather than having one imagination telling the other 28 what to do, all the imaginations pulled in. You know, I think we did pull off something that's different for British television, and I feel quite proud that we were unapologetic, we took risks, we didn't censor ourselves, and we did a few things that I think a lot of people, quite wisely perhaps, would have said, don't even fucking try and do that. But we got away with it. I think we got away with it, and it was fun.